Learned and astonishing animals. This is
Leslie
and Miranda's early modern era labor project.
In our first topic, we'll be talking about the historical context. Around this era was an increase of slave demand occurred for traditional peasant agriculture, which was the effect of global demand for raw materials and finished products. Trade in land and ocean increased dramatically due to the amount of forced labor. This is a map in the 1450s to 1750. Now we'll be talking about trade demand of slaves. As the plantation expanded, the demand for labor increased, which increases slave trade. In this era, new technology is created, which gives the access to trade with large amount in less time. This helped empires to ship large number of slaves. An example of slave trade is the Columbian Exchange. These are pictures of the Columbian Exchange. Demand of slaves in different regions. As new regions are discovered and developing more colonies, they needed a great number of labor to develop their community and profitable environments. This is a timeline. Has the regions and where each empire was at the time. This is a data of the Atlantic slave trade. It shows the deaths and the amount are shipped in each region.
For our second topic, we will be talking about the important people of 1450 to 1750. First off, Christopher Columbus, Hernando Cortez, Louis XIV, and Martin Luther and Peter the Great. Major events during this time was the Columbian Exchange, the conquest of America's early Spanish expeditions, and the Atlantic slave trade. Major developments were changes in trade and technology and global interactions, example, Atlantic Ocean trade, major maritime and gunpowder empires, slave systems, slave trade, demographic and environment changes, cultural and intellectual development, for example, shaped by the European Renaissance and Enlightenment. Next up, we'll be talking about gender and social structure changes. Trade had affected population to overcrowd in different areas. Life in these communities were very diverse for the leading past people to migrate to other villages and towns. Changes. Social structures in Europe were split into two. Serfs and nobility, raising trade and business created a new class called also known as wealthy people. And there was a large gap in between the two, the rich and the poor, but the poor still lived in cities. Men still had the advantage of who they wanted to marry, as well as a forced marriage from a family.
The fourth topic will be about the economic and cultural. Economic influenced the process of expansion by producing more raw materials in a short amount of time, and the demands of goods around the world. Economic has influenced the process of state building by having the money to modernize their cities. Cultural and influenced the process of expansion by their belief to expand their religion, such as Christianity. Cultural has also influenced the process of dissolution by believing different acts of rightfully and holiness.